My apologies. This is going to be a two-part video. Sorry, this is part two. Sorry. You say to yourself, such fear. And let me say something. And the current to that field, like electric current to it, is you. That woman was the, and I never saw the movie yet, but I could tell by the previews exactly what I was seeing. That woman was her worst enemy. And so many people are in the worst enemy of their lives. But that right there, what I just spoke about, is extreme worry, extreme disillusion. I pray to God that I don't let, it was a song back in the day, Don't Let Me Get Me. Who sang that? Don't Let Me Get Me. It's exactly what the song is, Don't Let Me Get Me. So when you hear that, you're saying to yourself, don't let me get me. Damn. Think about that one. Don't let me get me. And when you hear that and say to yourself, you are that much of an enemy to yourself that you might get a hold of you and wreck your whole meaning of life, mix up your whole journey and your experiences, and a mind that you create that came with your body and your soul has you prisoner. Wow. That is terrifying. Wow. How far would you let your mind go? And I'm going to tell you something. My mom, she raised us up in a strong religion. As you grow older, you see through a lot of the parallels that a lot of it wasn't real, or not real, it wasn't truthful. You start getting out into the world and seeing and hearing and reading about things totally opposite of what you were learning. But there were good qualities that came out of that. You know, to this day I don't smoke. To this day I don't drink. I don't want it. And I am now considered a rare breed of human being. I am a rare breed of human. That's sad. I was just telling some people the other day, we were talking in a group, and I said there was a time where officer friendly, when we were in kindergarten, would come to visit the class, tell people don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs. And the police were a little bit more favorable then than they are now. But they would come to schools and tell you that. They would tell all of us, get your shots, take care of yourself. And as these decades have moved on, it's totally out of control. And I was talking to a bunch of young white Caucasian kids, and they were telling me how bad their high school, what I was hearing out those kids' mouths was blasphemy. It was crazy. And then you don't hear about until an explosion happens. Somebody went on a rampage and blew up the school and shot somebody, and you would hear about kids suiciding crazy, all on drugs, messed up, you know, bullying at a higher rate than what I knew when my age is coming up. It's bad. And like I told these kids, you got to worry about what's inside the school and outside, meaning you're even on those, what do you call them? You're even on the computer and there's cyberbullying. That's bad. I just tell people now, please don't bring kids in this world anymore. They don't deserve that. Kids are innocent in the beginning. They don't need to be exposed to this and that. You can only protect your children as far as you leave them out the door, unless you're going to homeschool them and teach them a whole different way. But they have to go into these places and spaces, and it could be the worst thing in the world for them. You even see that all pronounced on these TV shows and videos and crazy stuff, and you just look at it and you say to yourself, I don't even understand what those children are going through compared to my years. Back then we used to fight with hands and we used to do our best. But today, you got to worry about people just taking you off the earth in a fit of rage. No discrepancy towards it, no thinking about it, nothing. So I'm to the point now where I'm saying to you all in my videos is, you know, truly dress for success and open your eyes. Refuse to be blind, refuse to be subjugated, refuse to be paneled away, refuse to be dissolved in the worst way, refuse to be left in the cold. Some of our lives are a one-man show. For now. For now. And when you realize that it's really not a one-man show, the universe is with you. God, concept, constructs, they're with you. And for the time you have, this is something I preach a lot about, for the time you're in that not lonely stage, alone, two different words. One put on you, and the other one you force on yourself. Or you got the hermits decide, I don't want to deal with human beings, but unfortunately I've had to tell quite a few of them, you still got to deal with humans when it comes to food, lodging, education, all that stuff. So stop saying you don't like to be in the human race. No, a lot of us don't. But we got to deal with what is given to us and how we are receptive to it or non-receptive to it. But you have to be a fighter. It's like you see a child coming through a womb. I haven't seen it virtually. But in your mind right now, a child that's being born out of pain and suffering, coming from the mother, from her womb to the baby that's screaming and crying, that is painful. This is in the world. Watch this. Has not stopped since you came out. The pain is long life of seeing and doing and dealing with things. So when you know that part, you realize it doesn't stop then. It goes merrily forward. And I think in my last video, not the one that just got cut off suddenly, that you have that power. And you learn to build and build inside, and you don't let people take you off who you are, and you don't let people's words become your makeshift or horrors untold or things you might conceive. Words should not trap you. You should learn the art of knowing how to let those words flow and mean nothing. You only give them the power and the meaning. So if they call you the worst racial name or crappy name in the world, you, like I've taught a few people, should know who you are. And if you know who you are, that can't touch you. It can't affect you. It cannot bargain base you down to the lower level of life. So, again, dress for success. Success of doing what you were designed to do as a human being. It's almost like an automaton. It's given orders once it's created, and it's given an objective. I used to say that on Star Trek. An objective. Something to do to keep its world meaningful, to get its duty accomplished. You have some of the greatest things to do, and you still will never know it all before you walk off this planet. Nobody ever does. I was talking to a bunch of people one day. We was talking about in the past, I worked short stints in the nursing homes. I was just amazed. Wow. Those people saw a lot to make it to that far. And I never saw some of the most crazy stuff. until I was in that nursing home. And believe me, I just worked in the restaurant part for a minute. My God, there was still people. You had people with snotty attitudes. These are old people. People who are called silver citizens. They don't call them that no more. But my God, you say to yourself, you're at the edge of life. You're at the edge when you can leave off this planet. And guess what? You're down here going out in the worst way. And then somebody will pay a pastor a ton of money. And then they put a memorial pamphlet out saying they were the greatest, goodest spiritual. And they are hell-like when they leave. So like I told my brother once, the things you're doing on this planet and continuously do, you better pray no hell waiting for us. Same with them. And I thought way before I start working that these people are going to be cool, calm, they're going to joke, they're going to have a good time. Oh my God, it's total warfare in those resident homes, especially the ones that are long term. Some of them thought they were privileged and boom, 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 complained about everything. Rude. I've heard stories of nurses getting attacked, sexually attacked, bothered, anger issues, mean, rude, disrespectful. I've heard of some getting spit on. Oh my God. I said, I'm surprised ain't none of them nurses turned around and did something back. Because this is like, baby, that's a lot to take. But those journeys back there in those places made me wake up and say, some of these people don't give a damn about how they leave this planet. They really don't. I gonna go out kicking and screaming, regretful. Regretful is a big one. They're gonna go off this planet mean, nasty, and then some preacher gonna pay, oh, she was a heavenly angel. God ain't blind. Let me say that in the defense of the realm. God is not blind. That's the part they're missing out on. You can pay the highest amount of money to send them on voyage. I remember watching, George Bush Sr.'s funeral. That man did a lot of bad stuff. And they made him like he was up in heaven and he was going to have a good time. You don't even know what it is. That's what they said in ancient Greek. You're not able to see what the gods can see. You're not able to interpret what death really is. And is it death? My old religion say, oh yeah, we're asleep in death. No. I've had experiences I've had to write down in the diary and things and do different things and realize that I had to really realize that those things that I had to do and I've been through, there's much more than this. This little stuff we got going on here on this earth, that's all it is. It may be a whole lot of stuff waiting in the background. Be mindful, because that thought right there sometimes keeps me in line a lot. And for people who I've run into who say, oh, I'm ready to get off this planet, die and go. The time is not now. And you don't know what's over there. That's the biggest thing that has stopped a few of them. You don't even know what's over there. It could be way worse than this. Who knows? It could be something totally you wouldn't even be able to explain. It's like they teach you in Egyptian mythology, and they kind of say it in the Buddhist way. You have two spirits, the Ka and the Ba. If I'm correct, the Ba goes back into the earth. That's the spirit realm, and the Ka rises up into a new realm. I've had enlightening experiences I'm not going to even share on here. But let's just say I had my walk there for a minute. Let me say another. It's a matter of non-interpretation. You just was there. You just been through it a few times. you said, you better get your house in order. And I'm not talking about a physical house like these beautiful houses, which sooner or later there'll be new occupants in there. What's my word? Whether you like it or not. You will be forced by the landlord eviction called death. So these houses might live on long past you, which they are. Some of them look like they've been built quite a few decades ago. Some could be older. But do you leave that house, that sanctuary piece that you come to, in a bad way? And I'm not talking about the livelihood of the house. You can always keep that up. I'm talking about the livelihood of your soul, your spirit, your mind. Can you leave that world, this world in a good, sane, gentle way, calm, and accepting of the things that have come to your door? One more thing. I just watched an episode of one of these shows I watch on Netflix, and they had a thing where this thing that stunk so bad was coming to people's doors. And one particular door, the woman said something negative, "No, you need to leave, leave, leave." But the next minute, she was walking back in that same hallway to her child, and that thing appeared right there in front of her and took her heart out. Come to find out was something called the uninvited. Snobbery did not prevail and get you killed. That's the message I got from that episode. Snobbery or being rude or being disheartened or rude to something, well, uninvited, unless you invite it in, open the door and give it sanctuary for a few hours or minutes, then it would leave on its own terms. It wouldn't touch you. But the minute you said, "No, don't want you here, go away, you're nasty, you stink," boom, 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 all that crap, you sealed your fate. That made me think. And to make me think about something and to say something made me realize one thing. Be careful of the people you run into every day and how you treat them. You don't know. You don't know. Even I'll leave you with this. The good book said, be careful. Sometimes you've entertained angels and didn't know it. Most of the time, most of us are entertaining demons and devils. We know it. But few know that sometimes angels play tricks on mankind. And they show up and you're not ready for it. You think, don't even know you entertain angels. They told me once, let me say this, I'm going to conclude it quick and fast because I think my transportation is coming. They told me of a church downtown has white all inside of the building. Beautiful marble all inside, gorgeous. Got this Gregorian monks and crazy stuff and pastors, whatever. They say they've turned away people who were homeless, who just wanted to come in and sit and be part of the service. Then you know, at that time, that church is not of God. Because, and let me go here for a minute, because Jesus said, when you treat them well, you have treated me the same way. That's powerful. And what I've had to subscribe to in my life and say is, when you know that, you know this, you become familiar with dressing for success. All those things I mentioned in that list is true keys to success. Mind your world, mind your thoughts, mind your life, and be the best while you can. For our time is short. Good day, my YouTube subscribers. Good day. Keep the reviews coming in to spread the algorithm. And namaste. Part 2 to part 1, and I will be adding them together. I wish you guys the best today. It's a beautiful day again. It's all days are beautiful. Namaste, my friends. Till soon.